am not doing it because I am doing because I feel this way I have to take a trade. I am doing it because I'm being guided by a thorough professional who takes on the responsibility of not only giving a trade but following a trade himself. So if RLTR is making us undergo a process, that process is not being tested upon me or other members or people who have taken that service. There it is being tested upon RLTR itself, on the mentor himself.
Hello traders, welcome to another video from RLTR Group. So today, this video is a very special video where we are going to discuss an experience of an RLTR member who actually live trades with us. So Gaurav from Delhi, how are you?
Very fine. Thank you very much.
Okay, wonderful to hear that. So Gaurav, can you just tell us how your experience has been in option selling, and what are the things that you found that is useful, or anything that you have as a feedback for us that you would want to share with the public, where RLTR 2.0, which stands for option selling. Okay, I wanted to know how is your take on that, and I think you've already opened your P&L statement, so why don't you talk about that as well, and see if you can motivate a few more people to consider option selling as a primary focus of profession.
Yeah. Okay. So, firstly, thank you for giving this opportunity to interact with you on this forum. I would say that one started trading a long time back, but the success rate was not that high. Some successes, more losses.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then one came across RLTR, started getting to know how things happen and why, more importantly, why things are happening on the screen, why charts are important, levels are important. And also, when you're trading in the market, what are the unseen factors which can influence the price, which generally one is not aware of. So,
Okay.
with that inputs, with the guidance from RLTR, especially in live trading, because usually it is you get a message on your Telegram or on a WhatsApp, entry and exit point and levels, and that's it. But here it was a more it was a direct and personalized interaction, where you are interacting, understanding, and going through the joys and travails of a trade along with the mentor. Now, that is a totally different experience, because that inculcates, in true sense, the learning part of it. It is just not that what accrues in terms of P&L at the end of the day or the week or the month, but the whole process. Because once the understanding of the process happens, the ends then become naturally, they become in your favor. If the process is not understood, then sooner than later, the results will not favor. So the biggest advantage in this process and journey with RLTR since November and December has been that gradually one has picked up the basics of trading, and more so in the FNO segment. And in the FNO
Hmm.
segment, the
Hmm.
shift to option selling, that was I would say, a life changing event, where one moved from the regular trades of buying and selling to selling the option. And that has been a really game changing, where my PNL statements improved, my confidence improved, and my whole trading psychology underwent a change, and all thanks to RLTR.
Wow, that's great to hear, Gaurav. Pretty much, I see that you have progressed yourself over here, and hardly there has been any 3 days of red, and that has not overpassed or overshadowed the realized P&L that you've done. So anything that you want to say, that what happens during the red days, even for the members, or the people who are outside over there, can you just tell us that when there is a red day, what have you learned to actually go ahead and counter that red day? and what is your mindset and so on and so forth, and especially how is your family treating trading as a business, for you, and how are things changed that line, and can you just tell us more about that?
So, as you said that if you see in the screen is the firstly I take the red and the green
Hmm.
part that, because that plays on the psychology far more than any other thing. So, if you see in the month of March, this is where when we started doing totally into option selling along to that RLTR. Now,
Hmm.
if you see the number of reds are managing, and they
Hmm.
happened not because the psychology and the process had some infirmities in it, but they happened because those were those freak days, and you have to give it that on some days the market will definitely not move in your favor irrespective of whatever you may do, and that happens every day, every time, somewhere or the other, where some things will just not move in your favor. So those 3 days out of those 26 or 25 trading days in the month of March. Now, if you see carefully, the success rate resulted in a net non-tax pre-tax of around 96,000. This was what I want to say here is all because we moved into the segment of option selling, duly guided by RLTR. And every passing day, one was given more confidence. One was given a new learning into how to go about doing things, and then you start learning how to manage the stress, the friction, and the joys and the travails of trading, because you are being guided in a manner to lead on to a logical conclusion, which, if that happens in a step-by-step manner of knowing why something is happening on the screen, will eventually produce a green result. The whole process has to be learned, understood, and gone through, and then you are able to manage the lesser number of reds. Yes, sometimes the reds will overwhelm you, but you always have the ability to manage with taking a counter trade. This is what we learned from RLTR, that yes, there will be occasions when few things may go suddenly and drastically wrong, may not be manageable, but can still be managed by taking certain counter action. And that is exactly the strategy which is to be followed. Not that one starts sweating and the hands start trembling on seeing the reds. You immediately, a good trader then immediately starts taking those countermeasures, and
I
eventually,
think on those countermeasures perspective, I think the April has been quite a
yeah,
game changer for you.
yeah,
So if we have a look at what you have done in the month of April, and I would say that 1.84
yeah,
lakhs is not a small amount,
yeah,
for anybody to do that. But however,
yeah,
after making such greens and stuff like that, has anything changed at your home? Or
yeah,
has
yeah,
it
yeah.
impacted anywhere else?
Yeah. So this is one of the most, I would say, the question which you have raised is the most important factor, other than logging into the terminal, because you can be have superb one can have superb knowledge of the market, one can
Hmm.
have superb access to literature, material, learnings, but if from the family side one is not able to manage, then those greens will eventually turn into red. So the support of the family and their ability to understand what you are doing overwhelms everything. So in my case, when it started, there was a lot of what should I say, indifference, that what this is, how can you get into it, why should you get into it, who does it,
Hmm.
what is the guarantee, you will burn off everything, nobody does it, then why doesn't everybody do it? And
Hmm.
eventually, when you start going through the process, you start understanding things, you yourself become more comfortable. And when you start explaining that why I am getting the greens, then the family starts to understand that this is not a gamble, but it is being taken as, if not as a profession, that as a business. And just as in a business, at the end of the day, PNL is important. Here also, if you follow the things correctly, if you're guided properly, because all of
Hmm.
us are not
Hmm.
clued up. I mean, none of us is clued up. You need to have somebody to hold your hands. You need to have somebody to guide you, to take you through the whole process from logging in to logging out, and uh, having a satisfactory result at the end. Once you get that, You get
Mhm.
confidence, your family gets more and more comfortable. And
Mhm.
I would add on that my son, younger son, who's in 10th,
Mhm.
he generally, once he comes home at around 2:30 to the 2 to 3, always comes and sees. He just taps on my shoulder, sees the green, smiles, and goes away. And
Mhm.
so those frowns start turning into smiles. Even your
Mhm.
parents will start understanding once you say, look, this is what I am doing, and I am not doing it because I am doing because I feel this way. I have to take a trade. I am doing it because I am being guided by a thorough professional who takes on the responsibility of not only giving a trade but following a trade himself.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if RLTR is making us undergo a process, that process is not being tested upon me or other members or people who have taken that service. There it is being tested upon RLTR itself, on the mentor himself, who
Mhm.
has the knowledge, who has the understanding, who has the sense of the market, the pulse, understanding of the pulse of the market. It's like a doctor who checks your pulse and then starts taking on certain investigations. Anybody can take a temperature at home with a thermometer, and anybody can check the blood pressure, and anybody can check the pulse at home. But what after that is a series of steps. So that is where a mentor like you who comes in and who takes it. So once that happens, as I said, at home, people start understanding that this is a business he's doing it, where at the end of the day, because he is on a firm foundation with highly professional people who are not going to take a trade because a trade has to be taken, but know the whys, ifs, and buts of a trade. And should a thing go wrong, the mentor will guide him to take the corrective steps so that the risk is averted.
Mhm.
Impending risk
Mhm.
is averted. Identifying the risk is one, and once you enter into a red zone, how to take route steps is another thing, which you have been very supportive in that by being in the thick and thin of it. So the family understands it. The smiles change the game. You become more comfortable. When you become more comfortable, your trading psychology improves. And when you have a mentor who understands the pulse, obviously things then become more and more, uh, green and green, I would say.
So, 1 out of 10, how 10 being the maximum. What would you rate RLTR as a thing that you would want to recommend to people outside?
I think, irrespective of the scoring scale which you have given, if given to me, I would rate it at least 9. And otherwise, I would have rated it 11, but you capped it at 10. But
So it's 11 and yeah, I capped it at 10 or whatever. So that's great.
yeah,
That's great. That's good to hear. Thank you so much for your time today, Gaurav, and taking a very good time of your weekend. So I really thank you for contributing. See, because this is something that I'm planning to do, is that create a profile of traders who have been successful and what has worked for them, and what do they have to say to people who are coming over here or watching this, is that to motivate them, and so that they can actually pursue their perfection rather than those big things that people
yeah,
promise. So that's
yeah.
where I think that you're adding value. I really thank you so much for
I,
taking
I,
the time.
I, I was really, I would appreciate that you gave me this opportunity. And secondly, that I was lucky that at some stage I came across the RLTR concept. And
Mhm.
let me tell you that for anybody who hears this, uh, the people who want to trade, they have to take it as a passion. They have to take it as a focused activity, because it is coming where immense amount of money can be made. We continue to slog in our professional lives for certain perks and privileges at the cost of personal life. Markets, especially in today's times, provides an opportunity to, at certain stage in life, to make money, if not huge, but the money, of course, huge money can be made, but start gradually, learn learn from people, for like professionals like RLTR and more, who can take it through you through to that journey, and give you that confidence of making it a full-time activity, so that at the end of the day, you are focused on creating wealth, creating experience, gaining knowledge, understanding the ups and downs of a market, stock market, for yourself
Mhm.
and for the benefit of your family. That
So
is
that's
where one should be. Yeah, yeah. So that is what at some stage in life. But if somebody feels that without knowing, without getting guided, without mentorship, he or she can become the next RJ, it's not possible. It takes time, effort, energy, and above all, guidance to crack to get the things, to crack the ceiling. This is what I want to say. So one must
wonderful.
make use of your knowledge, of the knowledge which RTR provides, uh, the live trading platforms and the learnings which one gets. It will be much far more comfortable than it could be in any other forum or manner.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, then, Gaurav.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for your time, and we'll catch up with another interesting video next week from a new trader, and then
Thank
we
you.
will take it forward from there. So, thank you so much. Have a blessed day, and see you guys on the next video.